Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, with nearly 1,600 new positive cases in the state, COVID is wreaking havoc on the events sector, including a major festival. Hospitality and tourism businesses say they're feeling the shockwaves of cancellations, but some help is set to be provided.
It's one of Tasmania's biggest and most surprising events, but Mona Foma's still not immune to COVID. Tasdance and Pekana Kunaplila's Toy Lupa event has been cancelled, a week out from the festival. Events continue to fall by the wayside due to COVID, with Bridport's Big Summer Party joining the list. The state government has launched another round of event-ready grants, giving $5,000 to organisers to prepare for coronavirus.
It can be the provision of masks, buying hand sanitiser, looking at getting COVID marshals, or indeed promoting the event with signage to make sure that it's COVID safe for patrons.
How do we make them as safe as possible? How do we work with our venues, our theatres, our other venues to ensure that we are all working towards the same gain?
In the hopes of bringing tourists back and a cash injection into the Tasmanian economy.
They explore further. They go to our regions, they go to other cities and take tours, stay in hotels, eat at restaurants and cafes.
It's already a tough time for hospitality venues. Mud bar owner Don Cameron says his trade is down 50 to 60%.
Our winter trade is better than this, and so this is a tough time. We are supposed to be in our summertime where we have tourists, and even the tourists are shy.
They're also battling staffing losses as close contacts stay home. The TCCI is also backing reduced isolation requirements for close contacts.
Small communities with one retail outlet that provides food to that community could potentially see that business shut should they have an instance of COVID in that community.
1,583 new COVID cases were recorded in the state yesterday. It brings the total number of cases to 8,764. There are now 8 people in hospital being treated for COVID and another 14 patients in hospital who've tested positive for the virus. The King Island outbreak growing to 115 cases. Travel to the island is no longer discouraged. Labor is calling on the state government to instruct businesses to allow immunocompromised people to work from home.
We're the only state that's not allowing people to work from home at Centrelink when they can, because there hasn't been that kind of instruction from the state government.
The state government says it only has control over the state's service and is encouraging employees to discuss their individual needs. With public health no longer notifying close contacts, some people have been unable to provide proof of isolation to access hardship grants. State Growth say they're aware of the issue and are working on alternate methods of proof. Tomorrow's National Cabinet is set to discuss a federal plan for schools returning. The state government has released some of its data on school ventilation after facing pressure to do so. Education Minister Sarah Courtenay says 21% of rooms with windows will require repairs, with the majority to be completed before school goes back. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Federal Labor has slammed the Commonwealth's handling of COVID outbreaks in aged care settings across Tasmania. It's calling for more rapid antigen tests and booster shots to be made available, with dozens of facilities now impacted.
Nearly a month after Tasmania's borders being thrown open, the state's aged care facilities are now in the firing line of the Omicron variant.
The reality is here that we're looking at the single most vulnerable group of individuals in our community housed in one place.
Advocates fearing the worst for what's to come.
I don't think there's any question that we'll see deaths coming out of aged care.
Federal Labor MPs are fed up with the government's hands-off approach, today urging the relevant ministers to step up.
If we had access to more rapid antigen tests, people could be testing themselves each day in those critical industries and know whether they should go to work.
With staff shortages already bearing down on the industry.
A third of aged care homes in Tasmania in lockdown, effectively condemning elderly people to solitary confinement away from their loved ones.
Southern Cross Care in Newtown is now among the 24 homes impacted. This letter sent out to families overnight, informing them of a resident's positive result. The documents obtained by 7 Tasmanian News say the Rosary Gardens facility has enacted its outbreak response plan, seeing residents isolated to their rooms and visitation limited.
Given the nature of Omicron and the fact that it spreads more readily than Delta before, it has to be a significant concern.
Aged Care Services Minister Richard Colbeck says the government has prioritised vaccinating aged care residents, with the Booster in Reach program starting in November. Also adding rapid antigen tests are being made available to all residential services.
What we need to do is make sure that we've got as many people as possible, whether they be residents, staff or visitors, going into aged care to have their booster shot as quickly as possible.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
A disgraced former Tasmanian Liberal MP has been convicted on several charges by a Queensland court. Adam Brooks entered guilty pleas to charges of unlawful possession of an article resembling a licence, possession of unregistered firearms and unlawful possession of suspected stolen property. He was convicted by Acting Magistrate Byrne and fined $5,000. Brooks was elected to State Parliament in May last year before resigning shortly after. Police believe a fire which tore through a Lutana home last night was deliberately lit. Crews arrived at Lennox Avenue just before 9 o'clock. Damage is estimated $100,000. Investigations into the cause of the blaze are continuing. Commuters travelling to the historic Ashes Test will enjoy free public transport from Hobart's Bus Small Express to Blunston Arena. The Derwent River Ferry service is also being made available to cricket fans in an effort to enhance connectivity. Metro Tasmania and the state government have worked alongside local councils to get the initiative off the ground.
You won't have to worry about finding a park, jump on a bus, jump on a ferry, come and enjoy such an incredible day.
Well, Clarence City Council is delighted to be able to host this game. We recognise that it's a great chance to showcase the city.
The Ashes Express buses will start at 1 o'clock each afternoon, with trips leaving every 10 to 20 minutes. An interstate athlete will attempt to swim double the length of an iconic Tasmanian marathon, a first in the event's history. Brenda Norman is set to swim from New Norfolk to Hobart and back again while raising awareness for mental health.
Swimming from New Norfolk to Hobart may sound like a gruelling feat for many, but this seasoned swimmer wants to keep on kicking.
Tomorrow I'm going to be attempting a double crossing of the Derwent River. No one has attempted a double crossing before, so I thought it might be a bit of fun, a good challenge.
The New South Wales athlete completed the Derwent River Big Swim last year, which typically ends in Hobart, and wanted to push the limits by swimming back to the start at New Norfolk for the event's 50th birthday.
Long distances, long hours, lots of feeding, lots of rest. It does take a very special type of person to attempt this type of swim. This swim is one of the toughest in Australia and almost one of the toughest around the world.
It's the fresh water, there's snags, there's currents, there's things to be looking out for, but I actually just quite like those kind of challenges.
If successful, the 68-kilometre circuit will also be her longest swim yet.
I've been doing marathon swims for around about 5 years now, so I've swum the English Channel and the Catalina Channel. I've also done the Australian Triple Crown of open water swimming.
Brenda will reach the usual finish line at the Tasman Bridge, but will circle round to head back to New Norfolk, aiming to complete the full swim in around 16 hours. While gliding through the river, the mental health initiative Channel for Change.
We want to think about our mental health every day. It's something that we have to maintain, just like our physical health. And so through swimming, I hope to draw attention to that.
Brenda will dive into the double marathon at 5:30 tomorrow morning. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, a swimmer has been dramatically rescued from floodwaters in the Cataract Gorge. Good Samaritans contacted authorities just after 6 o'clock last night, having noticed the man was in distress. The 60-year-old made his way to rocks before emergency services removed him from the water. Police are warning people not to enter floodwaters. He's been a run-scoring champion for the Hobart Hurricanes, and now Ben McDermott looks likely for selection in Australia's T20 side. Cricket legends have praised the right-hand batsman's performance in recent weeks, but he remains modest about the future.
A stunning batting display in front of adoring cricket fans. This was the beginning of a career highlight for Ben McDermott.
That has been a clinic tonight. Exquisite 6, 104 not out.
Later becoming the first man in Big Bash history to score 3 centuries.
It was a great feeling to go back to back. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. If you gave me 50 or so at the start of that game after getting 100 the night before or the couple of nights before, I would have taken it.
His efforts on the ground for the Hurricanes haven't gone unnoticed, with an international call-up to Australia's T20 squad now a real possibility.
It would be nice to be in the squad and around another World Cup. Another World Cup win, I should say, if they can do it again.
While he remains focused on seeing out a strong BBL season, there's been plenty of pinch-me moments for the right-hander in recent weeks.
Roy said he was my favourite player, so that's pretty cool coming from my favourite player growing up. So yeah, it's actually it's unbelievable.
McDermott won't know his fate about selection in the Aussie squad for at least another couple of weeks, but he's determined to make the most of this opportunity to play for his country.
Cricket's a game of millimetres and inches. Sometimes it can go it can easily go the other way. So at the moment, it's going mine.
A casual hit of another sport helping improve his form at the crease.
I play a lot of golf. I joke about it a lot, but I do think it helps my swing a lot.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
The Jack Jumpers are set to restart their training tomorrow, with the majority of the squad coming out of COVID protocols. In total, 9 players and 2 coaches tested positive, but the CEO says it could be a blessing in disguise.
It hasn't been a bad thing to have it hit us all at once. I think it's actually better than 2 or 3 this week, 2 or 3 next week. So to have everybody go through it at once together, they're bonding well. They've done lots of Zoom meetings together.
The club says ticket information for next Wednesday's away game against the New Zealand Breakers at MyState Bank Arena will be released soon.
Good evening. The warmest population centre today, Launceston again with 25 degrees. Hobart 19, Burnie and Devonport 21. Bushy Park and the Bass Strait Islands 22 today. Smithton, Lowhead, Friendly Beaches, Grove and Strawn all 21. St Helens 20 degrees. Mid to low level cloud over the state. The northwest and southeast copped most of it today before contracting to central areas. The Northern Territory has cloud due to the tropical cyclone. Just patches of cloud over coastal parts of the eastern states and through the bottom of South Australia. Tomorrow the high drifts to our southeast as several troughs maintain a presence over the North Island. Apart from light variable winds in the west, it will be a little breezy tomorrow with east-northeasterly winds as strong as 20 to 30 knots over the north and south. So we have a strong wind warning that's been issued for the far northwest coast, central north coast and the southwest coast of the state. Hobart, drizzle at times clearing tomorrow, 22 the top, 24 for Cygnet, same sort of forecast. Possible morning drizzle for New Norfolk as well. Partly cloudy for Launceston on 26, Devonport 21 and Campbelltown on 24 degrees. Burnie a high of 19 and partly cloudy, Strawn up to 25 tomorrow and 22 for Smithton. St Helens a top of 21. Little bit of drizzle in the east, Swansea 21 as well and 20 for Fingal. UV, as you would expect, extreme again at 12. On Friday, temperatures in the mid to high 20s as showers gradually extend statewide. A humid day on Saturday, showers again contracting to inland areas later. And on Sunday, showers easing from the west before developing later in the afternoon. Partly cloudy in Perth, a sunny 27 in Adelaide, humid with an afternoon shower in Melbourne, a shower as well in Sydney, 27 there, and partly cloudy in Brisbane. Bit of cloud over Hobart, 17 at the moment, 22 in Launceston, partly cloudy in Devonport. You know, Kim, I'm finding it hard to follow the health advice at the moment. I read where all I needed to wear to get to the supermarket and back safely was a mask and some surgical gloves. When I got there, everyone else was wearing clothes.
I just knew that was coming. That was terrible. Good night to you, Murph.